to punish her gambling father. The girl swung an 800-pound iron rod at his weak spot. The strike nearly scared him to death. This scene was clearly seen by the noble consort upstairs. She thought the girl's justice and fierceness made her the perfect martial arts teacher for the crown prince, because the crown prince was rebellious and wild, and had already driven away over 10 martial arts masters. Only someone like the girl who didn't go easy would be able to handle him. So the noble consort immediately ordered the eunuch to stop the girl, and promised her on the spot, if she could tame the unruly prince, she'd be given 10 taels of gold every month, and a shop for her mother. Thinking of how hard her mother worked to earn money, the girl agreed without hesitation. That very night, she arrived at the palace training grounds, and just as she stepped in, she saw a martial master being kicked out by the crown prince. When the prince saw her, he immediately mocked her, saying a country bumpkin like her wasn't fit to be his teacher. The girl got angry, and asked the noble consort if she could hit him. Once she got permission, she grabbed her iron rod and charged. The pampered prince had never been beaten like this. Within moments he was running around trying to escape. After just a few strikes, he was crying and screaming for his parents. Seeing this, the noble consort was delighted. Feeling she had finally found someone who could control the prince, she gave the girl special authority. As long as she didn't kill the prince, she could do whatever she wanted. The next morning, the girl went to the prince's chambers to start training, but the maid told her the prince wasn't up yet. In fact, the maid said he always slept until 2 in the afternoon. The girl was not happy. For the next few days, she stormed into the prince's room at 4 in the morning with a gong, and yelled loudly to drag him out of bed. Then they began daily training. Her methods were strict, and every time the prince slacked off, she would beat him with her rod. The prince howled in pain every day. They trained like this for 7 straight days, only allowed to sleep late at night. The prince grew more and more frustrated, so he started plotting how to get back at this violent teacher. Soon after, the girl was brought to the main hall. A eunuch gestured for her to sit at the head seat, saying the prince had prepared a ceremony to accept her as his teacher. The girl saw through the trap right away. Sure enough, when she took the tea the prince offered, she opened it and was shocked to find a frog inside. Before she could react, a small snake leapt at her. She grabbed it with one hand, and threw it right onto the prince's head. The prince screamed in terror, but as the two were messing around, a palace maid rushed in with a royal decree. Foreign envoys had arrived, and the emperor wanted them both to attend. They quickly headed to the main hall. To their surprise, the foreign envoy mocked the prince as soon as he saw him, saying he looked weak like a baby chick. The emperor tried to smooth things over, but the envoy proposed a wager. If he lost, he would retreat to the grasslands and pledge loyalty forever. But if the emperor lost, the noble consort would have to be sent for a political marriage. He even said if the emperor didn't dare to compete, he could admit defeat right away. The emperor fell for the provocation, and agreed to the challenge on the spot. The match began quickly. The prince stepped onto the stage, but the envoy sent out a huge man weighing 200 pounds, claiming he was only 10 years old, saying people from the grasslands were naturally big. The noble consort was instantly nervous, but the girl was full of confidence, telling her not to worry, the prince would win. On the stage, the big man was as strong as an ox, and quickly gained the upper hand. The prince was losing ground fast, but